All right, so Eric, we took a look at that solar phenomenon and seeing how it's really affecting your utility costs over time. Because every single year, like everything else, your utility bill is getting driven up by a bunch of different factors. The solar phenomenon just seems to exacerbate that in the states in which it's occurring. And so we got to that 5% number. I know we both think it's conservative, but I prefer to lean a little bit on the conservative side. I mean, when I do my bills personally, I assume my pay is going to get cut in half and my bills are going to double. So I typically like to do the same thing for my customers. Now, what I like to see with that 5% is really how that's going to affect your numbers over time. Reason being, when I got into solar, the very first thing I did was I called my parents. I said, hey guys, can we get you into a solar system? Unfortunately, they have a red clay tile roof, and so they're not eligible for solar. But nonetheless, I basically did with them what I'm doing with you now. I took a look at their bills. And so they bought their house back in 1999, and back then they were paying $275 a month. Now, 20 years later, today, they are paying $475 for the exact same home. And in that time, myself and my brother have both moved out, and they have still felt the effects that drastically. And so, like I said, I like to see kind of how that's going to affect you. And so, we got some numbers back from our team, and you're using just over 21,000 kilowatt hours a year, and our system is able to produce over half of that at just shy of 12,000 kilowatt hours. And so, you're paying about 11 cents a kilowatt hour. So let me do this real quick. I want to see what that equates to. So for that 11,800 kilowatt hours that we produce, it's going to cost you $108 with your utility provider. Now, we had talked about that 5%, and again, it's conservative, but that's the number we're choosing. So I want to see what that is actually going to do to your bills over time. And so really all that's saying is that you're paying $108 right now. That 5% increase just takes you to $113 next year. That's all. And so that's just saying a $5 increase from your bills from this year to next year. I mean, Eric, do you think that there's any way your average bill is not going to go up $5 next year? I thought so too. With that, let's see what that goes to over the next 5 years. So I've got you at 113. All that's saying is that 5 years from now, that $108 has now risen to $138. So let's keep going here. Year 10, $175. Year 15, $224. And then the Department of Energy is saying that in year 20, you'll be paying $286 for the same $108 of electricity you're at right now. I mean, we are a solar company, but our product is price protected power. We want to be able to lock you in at a rate that is not going to be moving up and up and up and up and up every single year. And so one of the things I like to look at is, what is this really going to cost you over the course of 20 years to make the choice to not go solar? And so I used to have a bunch of calculations I did for this. I told you I had a numbers background, but I found out that people didn't want to watch me do math for 10 minutes and come up with this. So thankfully there's an app for that. So basically all we're doing with this is we're going to input that $108 we're paying right now at that 5% interest and see what that's going to cost us over the course of 20 years. And so that's coming out to, wow, $42,853 is what it's going to cost you for that 11,800 kilowatt hours every single year over the course of 20 years. Now, since we're already here, let's go ahead and look at the 30 years out. 30 years, that same 12,000 kilowatt hours, $86,104. I don't know what I would do with $86,000, but I guarantee it I would enjoy doing it. And so, look, I know we had that 21,430 is what you're using, and that 11,800 is what we're producing. And so for us, that's sort of a conservative number. Reason being, we want to basically underpromise and overproduce. So that 11,800 is built in with some assumptions by us. And some of those are, we assume you're only going to get 6 hours of sunlight a day. Now we both know that there's days in the summertime when it feels like it stays late until 9:30 at night. So we're getting a lot more than 6 hours every single day. With that, we don't think it's going to be bright and sunny every single day of the year. We assume there's several weeks of the year in which we're going to have no production on your system, which is not the case, because even in cloudy and rainy weather even, you can still be producing on your system. While not at 100%, some production is still a lot more than none. And so, like I said, I wanted to look at this. I wanted to see exactly how these numbers affected you. And so my team has gotten back with us, and it looks like we have your payment here. And exactly, our goal is to be right here between year 0 and year 5. That's the sweet spot for the solar systems. And so I know we're going to be able to come back within that range. And so if we were anywhere between $138 and $108, can you see a reason that you would not want to move forward with this? I mean, we can both see the savings in that range, can't we? Now, Eric, you're right. You can see it. I mean, if you're able to lock yourself in at $138, it's a lot better than $286, isn't it? I thought so. Okay, so we got your numbers back, and wow, it's even cheaper than I thought. $123 a month, a number that never changes, that you're able to lock yourself into, is what your solar payment is. So Eric, really the next step for us is we just have a quick qualification process through our financial provider Dividend. All I need is the last 4 digits of your social security number and your birthday. Congratulations, Eric. We're getting you into a brand new solar system.